Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, the Crusaders heading to Eden Park to take on the Blues. This rivalry, it runs deep. These two sides, they have a little bit of hatred for each other. Now, there's going to be an interesting match here because Beauden Barrett is back for the Blues off of the bench, and the Crusaders are without Will Jordan for this contest, as well as Tamaiti Williams after receiving that 3-week suspension. The game up against the Chiefs, so slightly different looking lineups, but overall should be a fantastic game. Thoroughly looking forward to see who gets the win. We've recently seen a relatively close game between the Highlanders and the Western Force. I won't spoil the result of that one for anyone who wants to check it out, but looking through at the starting lineups for this contest, this could be very close, as it has been multiple times in the past when these sides plays. But in the front row, Ofa Tuangafasi alongside Kurt Eklund and Marcel Renata. For the Blues, Josh Berry and Sam Derry in the locking duo. Now, we do see Lachlan McWannell still out with concussion. Patrick Tuipulotu, he is still out with a shoulder injury. So, picking up a few at the moment for this Blues side. I think they've got a list of about 10 injured players. The Crusaders, they have a list of 11. So, really not ideal at this stage of the competition. In the loose forward trio, Torian Barnes gets himself a start at number 6. He's been quite the impact player off of the bench for the Blues this season. Dalton Papali, the captain, at 7, and Hoskins Satutu, he closes out the 4-pack as the number 8. Finlay Christie alongside Stephen Perafeta as the 9-10. Caleb Clark out on the left wing. Peter Aki and AJ Lamb in the midfield. Then Cody Vi gets the opportunity out on the right. That is with the absence of Cole Forbes. And then Zahn Sullivan, he's there as the number 15 for the Chiefs, or not for the Chiefs, sorry, for the Crusaders. They have got a bit of a change in the front row that is due to that Tamaiti Williams suspension. So George Bauer comes in as the starting number 1, Cody Taylor at 2, and Fletcher Null as the 3. George Bauer out for 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, with his foot injury. So a bit of a hit there. Cody Taylor only recently coming back from a rib injury of his own. You have to wonder if he's 100%. It was a pretty nasty knock, but he's back in there now. And I think it's crucial that the Crusaders get their line out right here, because this Blues side, they will put them under pressure with Berry and Derry as the two main prospects. But looking through at the locks for the Crusaders, Antonio Chalfoun at 4 with Jamie Hanna as the 5. Dom Gardner once again slots in at 6. Ethan Black at a 7. And the man coming off a hat-trick, and Christian Leo Willie, he is there as the number 8. Noah Hotham and Reves Reihana as the 19 combination. A bit of a change there for this Crusaders side as Reves comes back from his injury, and Taha Kamara now finds himself in that number 15 jersey in the absence of Will Jordan. Che Fiaki out on the right wing, Lester Whainanoku and David Havili in the midfield with Sevu Reece to close out this Chiefs on the mind at the moment, but Crusaders starting lineup. Now, it is quite interesting because Taha Kamara, I don't know how many people would have had him high up on their fullback list for this Crusader side. My suspicion would have been that they would have gone straight to Che Fiaki as the number 15, maybe stick Lester Whainanoku left wing and then Sevu Reece right wing. That would have solved all the issues, but interesting opportunity here for Taha Kamara as he goes head-to-head with Zahn Sullivan, who has been playing 15 predominantly throughout the rest of the season. We have got there in the chat, up the Crusaders, about to go 2 from 2 and move up on the table, says Josiah. Of course, that would be 2 from 2 in the last 2 weeks, as they were beaten the week prior by the Brumbies, and the week prior to that, they were beaten by the Highlanders as well. Good morning, how are you? Tim, we're Hamish. Says Mahadin, good morning, Hamish and the lads. Says Big Rick, welcome in. How's it looking at Eden Park? A little bit empty, but at the end of the day, like, Eden Park is a huge stadium, so you're always going to have a few empty seats, but there are a few people piling in for this contest. It is one of the more anticipated clashes that do take place in Super Rugby Pacific. We see there Caleb Clark warming up in the background. It's phenomenal that that man is actually playing in this game after the injury that he did suffer just last week. We have got there also, neither of these teams can go higher than 3rd on the table. Says Jasmine, how was the cricket? I hope the kids had more fun than the Welsh. Although Wales did all right from the looks of it. I was having a look at the scoreboard every once in a while I was down there. And Wales made it competitive. And then it was just that 3-pointer that they got near the end of the game that kind of ruined the contest for them. But it sucks for Wales that yet again, another relatively close game that they just get no reward on the points table for. Whereas the Irish, this now with their victory and not being a one-sided one, if France win their game up against Scotland tomorrow with a bonus point, Six Nations is done. And the French have won the whole thing with 1 round to go. So that would be a pretty massive one. Eden Park looks great in the background, but no crowd, says Paul. So actually similar to what we see on that far end at the moment, as that is the end with the sun. So not many people are actually sitting on that side by the looks of it as well. We have got the Kia ora Hamish, says Chris Hayes, welcome in. And also Money English, it's 8:13 in the morning. And evening, Hamish, g'day all. I'm looking forward to you doing the commentary on this epic encounter. Yeah, I'm excited for it too. I think that this game, it has potential, if it's anything like the past matches, to be very close. Now, the Blues haven't got the best record up against the Crusaders as of late, but that doesn't mean they haven't been competitive. Normally, these two sides only separated by the 1 try, although there was a match about 3 or 4 years ago where the Blues were able to win at Eden Park 26 points to 6. That was one of the first and only times that they've been able to keep the Crusaders tryless. So, if they can do that again, it'll be a pretty massive one, and they should have a pretty good chance of being able to win it as well if the Crusaders didn't score any tries. We have got the hashtag Pray for Wales. And hi guys, this is my first Super Rugby game I'm watching all the way from India, rooting for the Crusaders, like that name. Says Adrian Sill. Well, it is greatly appreciated you popping in for this one. These two sides, it is quite a rivalry match here in New Zealand. And they can be very exciting games, back and forth encounters. And normally a little bit feisty too, like we saw between the Crusaders and the Chiefs in the game last week. I don't care who wins, because my Chiefs will stay in second. Same with the Brumbies versus the Reds. And what do France need to do to win the Six Nations? Win with a bonus point. Even winning without a bonus point, probably their differential would be high enough to be able to carry them through. But bonus point win would absolutely secure the Six Nations competition. And kia ora from a Spanish rugby fan. We are actually going to be covering a couple of Spanish Sevens games in the relatively near future. They are playing in Vancouver starting tomorrow morning, New Zealand time. How do you pronounce number 13 from the Crusaders? So there's Lester Fainanuku, whose name sometimes I get criticised for how I say, but it's almost there. I think I add a little bit of an extra in the middle of it. A relief for Jamie Joseph's Landers beat the Force and go the Crusaders in the Black Cat, says bad to the bone. How's your day been, Hamish? It's been busy. It started off with me waking up super early to go down and get the pitch and everything ready for the junior cricket. Started helping them out for there. Came home to the first half of Wales versus Ireland. Then left at halftime after Tim took over. I went back down, helped out with the rest of the junior cricket game. Then from there ended up kind of being 12th man for the second grade cricket. So running the drinks on and off, and I think it was about 30 degrees in the end. Felt relatively warm. Also had to play for a little bit of time. Even though I was initially just going to be the drinks man. Had to play because one of the players ended up with a nosebleed. So I was out there for about probably 10 minutes in shorts because I didn't bring my gear because I was just running drinks. Some of these rugby names do get long, says Xander. And then recently got home ready to go for this live stream, with plenty more coming up throughout the night as well. Also, do you think the Blitzbot's going to win? They've got Great Britain in their first game, so they should, unless something really does go wrong. Although in the Sevens competition, with the top 8 sides all being so competitive, you cannot afford to drop a game early, or you could end up pretty much missing out on the semi-finals. But of course, anyone who hasn't already, let me know your score predictions for this matchup. The Crusaders, they do come in as slight underdogs for this contest. The Blues favourites at home, even though they have only beaten the Crusaders 1 out of the last 10 times that these two sides have met. That just tells you how substantial of an impact they feel the absence of Will Jordan will have on the way that this Crusaders side, even though they beat the Chiefs last week away from home, because they had Will Jordan in the side, that straight away puts them as much higher in the odds. Did you catch the Force versus Highlanders? Only the last about 5 or 10 minutes of that matchup. Shout out to my son Lennox, says Jude there. And also, did your team win? They did not. Neither side actually ended up winning in the end, the juniors or the second grade. Good day, Hamish, says Jonathan. Welcome in. Eden Park going to be the host of this contest between the two teams. It's a long, storied rivalry. Spans back decades. And playing cricket in 30 degrees is doable. Sitting in the shade with a brandy and a pizza just feels better, says Xander. Yeah, I think there'd be plenty of other players who would have preferred that second option than playing in the heat. Saders to win by 10 points, says Dunk there for the score prediction. What we will do, though, before we get into this match is we will show what has happened recently for these two sides, starting off with the Blues. They are coming off a loss to the Brumbies. The week prior to that, though, beating the Western Force 42 points to 32, and then up against the Chiefs the week prior at Eden Park, They did end up losing it. So at the moment, they have not won a game at Eden Park this season. But of course, this game up against Crusaders, the match that they do want to change that record and pick up that first victory for the Crusaders. They don't have the best home record either. In fact, they are so far just defeated at home with that massive loss to the Brumbies, 50 points to 24. But they have done well up against the Chiefs just last week, winning it by 10. And then the game prior to that, they lost to the Highlanders. It's actually very similar in terms of how these two sides have been throughout their season. And the reason I say that is, they've had that recent loss in terms of the second round for the Crusaders. In fact, 2 losses for this Crusaders side. They lost their first 2 rounds, whereas the Blues, they lost their first, won their second, lost their third. One of those games was extremely close. In fact, you could argue 2 for the Blues. These two sides, they look fired up at the moment for this contest. I think they just said late change, did they? Yeah, Beauden Barrett's in the 10 jersey, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened to Stephen Petafeta. Beauden Barrett must have tripped him and broken his leg or something because he is in the starting side. That probably is why the Blues are slightly more favourites now than they initially were. But I'm not sure what has happened to Petafeta. Obviously a warm-up injury. And it means that Barrett comes into the starting side. I'm curious now to know who is off the bench for this Blues side. And the contest we have got there... Lennox thinks you're awesome, mate, says Jude. I'm still waiting because normally I believe it is you, Jude, who does the trick name. So I'm waiting for the next part of it. Saders by 12, says Chris. Can't wait for the T20 World Cup final. New Zealand versus India, Monday, 2:30am New Zealand time. 132,000 in attendance. Go the Black Cat, says bad to the bone. And yeah, we are going to be covering that one on the channel. So be sure to get up bright and early for you guys in New Zealand. Saders by 11. So there's a lot of score predictions around that 11 to 15-ish margin at this stage. I forgot to ask yesterday, did you say Razor got a new job? No news on him yet. He's got a job with the Barbarians currently, but that is only a short-term gig. I'm not sure what his long-term plan is, but he's still in that stage where he's not allowed to coach another Tier 1 side. So he's got to wait for that a little bit longer for getting that chance. When tries are scored, can you put it on the screen? Who scores them so I can keep track? Have you got a lot of men in your super fantasy in that case, Cam? What's the difference? Well, what a difference a week makes. Last week, 3 Aussie teams winners. This week, 3 will be losers. Says Duncan. It just shows the unpredictability of Super Rugby Pacific. 20 degrees at the moment in Auckland for this contest at Eden Park. Little bit of breeze, 17 kilometres. And take a sad song and make it better, says Demon. I think you're quoting the Beatles there, aren't you? But these two teams... There's that little bit of extra feistiness that is normally involved in a contest like this. And I think it just comes down to the fact that these two sides, they know they're good enough to beat each other, but sometimes they just don't play their best rugby. And I think the frustration has been more from the Blues than the Crusaders. The Crusaders, like I mentioned, they have about a 90% winning rate up against the Blues in the last about maybe 5 years or so. What we'll quickly do is we'll go like that. And like that as well. They have got Reves Rehane. He is going to be making his way back into the starting lineup. That is to replace the resting Will Jordan, who is going to a wedding by the sounds of it. It's very nice to have Hamish back, says Mohadeen. My daughter Ada watches every week as well. And also we have got the good old Bodie getting the foot in before game time, says Odds. Yeah, I didn't actually pay attention to who they had off the bench in the end, so hopefully someone caught who was the number 22 now, rather than Beauden Barrett, who was thrown into the starting lineup for this match. Tatum Papali'i about to make his way out of the tunnel. Brings up the 100. Brought up 100 matches for the Blues last week, but they are doing the celebration for him this week in his 101st match. The crowd, they are cheering for him. What are the kits looking like for both teams? So the Blues have got the white predominant kit with a little bit of blue as the trim. The Crusaders, I believe, are wearing that classic red and black that you'd expect to see. Why is Ireland starting to play very bad? Says Mahadine. I would say Ireland had a few bad moments, but Wales also deserve a ton of credit for how they defended. They defended like their Six Nations depended on that result. And they made a huge amount of tackles. It was only a matter of time until they got fatigued, but it seemed like they were just willing to hang in there, and Ireland were either going to go absolutely brilliantly or bust in that second half, and it's kind of a bit of both. I just ripped my, jumping the gate. Well, that's not ideal, Jared. You probably want to get that stitched up pretty quick, I would think. And we have got there cool and cloudy in Cape Town, 18 degrees, says Ruth. See, that's regarded as cool and cloudy. Here in New Zealand, it's about 20 degrees and sunny, and that's considered a bit of a scorcher for certain regions of the country. Nick Berry will be the man in charge of the whistle for this game. TMO is Aaron Patterson. Why the heck did Wales have to play in the white, says the Sporting Kiwi. I think it's just down to that colourblind side of things. But honestly, I think that white was closer to Ireland's kit, I would say, but I'm not colourblind, so that probably is why I'd say it. But now kicked off. Oh, beautifully taken by Che Fiaki off kickoff, and the Crusaders already retaining the ball. Now Hotham goes across to George Bauer. Comes into the starting lineup. That is rather than Tamaiti Williams, who has been stood down for 3 weeks. There's also an injury list, almost a mile long for the Crusaders at the moment. About 11 men on that sheet, including now George Bell after his most recent injury. Wales look very good. Wouldn't say that Ireland were that bad. Was a good game. Yeah, overall, I think both sides had their good moments in it. And, Wales on their goal line. And Reece Curry, I mean, that man just scores from anywhere at the moment. Putting down the afterburners and getting going towards the try line near the end of the half. George Bauer goes back into the pocket to Hotham. Now Revez Rehana, first touch for him since returning from his injury a couple weeks ago. Ball's there for Whaina Nuku. And it's a bit of a scrappy breakdown. The Blues trying to get the steal, but they're giving away a penalty advantage, something that has plagued their Super Rugby Pacific season so far. Now pick and go from David Harville. He tries a round-the-back flick pass. That didn't quite work. So it is going to now be a penalty to the Crusaders. 22 metres out from the goal line. And an easy 3 if they want it. But I think that their mindset throughout the whole season has been go for the corner. Our media rated Kagiso Rabada 3 out of 10 for his World Cup performance. Harsh or fair from a neutral. So the whole World Cup, I wouldn't quite go as low as 3, but I wouldn't give him more than a 5 because he's normally a strike bowler and hardly took any wickets. So, and in the big game where it mattered for him to get some runs, he went out pretty early too. That wouldn't surprise me. We've been there before, says bad to the bone, but it was a great retention of the ball early on from the Crusaders off kickoff, which I believe is why they are just going for the 3 points. Get on the board early this season. Revez Rehana has 100% accuracy. Now it's still 100%. The kick goes over 3-0 for the Crusaders early. South Africa batsmen were much better. Says Heptagonal Ghost as a whole, as in like for the whole World Cup, or in that. Surely you're not saying about that match up against New Zealand, right? Because I don't think anyone can take away the credit for Finn Allen, the way he knocked that century around. One's going to be kicked off long and into the sun here for the Blues. Taken inside by Christian Leo Willie. I agree, 5 out of 10 seems a fair call. I also think 3 out of 10 was harsh. It depends on what they're grading him on, though, because like I said, he didn't take a huge amount of wickets the whole T20 World Cup. Yeah, I think that, although Seifert and Allen have helped us out quite a bit throughout the whole competition, it'd be interesting to see who steps up in that final. Now off to the right. Sam Derry. I think they just said someone's up to their 150th match in this case. And then you've also got those younger players like Savatorian Barnes, who's only on about his 4th cap for the Blues at this stage. Now attacking forward for the home side, sitting about 10 metres out from the line. Auckland. Now set it up. Christie goes to Bowden Barrett, slings it across. Wide cutout pass. Caleb Clark in the corner. Now, I mentioned about this last week, and some said that it was not quite true, but at the same time, there were a few who agreed. I believe Caleb Clark last week found his form and now is going to be very hard to stop throughout this whole season. He's just a clinical finisher, and he took about a year or so to be able to find that rhythm. But now any pass that they get out wide, I think that assist goes to Bowden Barrett a little bit for that first initial pass to Peter Aki to keep it moving along. You one game. At that point, Sporting Kiwi says Heptagonal Ghost. And apart from that, Steve Tandy team picks are still bad. And I know you are a Kiwi, and I am going to tell you the result between Black Cats and India. So India opted to bowl. First, Finn Allen started well, but got bowled, and New Zealand score 178. India chased it. To be fair, 173 is not enough in a final, I don't think. Not in this case, not when the boundaries are like 20 metres long. They're not quite that bad. They're about 60. But that one's gone over from Beauden Barrett, making the score now 7-0 in favour of the Blues. I've even put them down the bottom as well for the try scorers. Have been very productive. Crusaders says Stitalai. The All Blacks have a wing problem in a good way, says the Sporting Kiwi. And nope, 260, good score. Well, nice take there from Sam Derry. Now going off to the right. We got India have never beaten New Zealand in a T20 World Cup game. They had also never chased down more than 190 runs, and they did that in the group stage up against the West Indies. Now, I don't think they had set a total of 250 in a playoff game like they did up against England either, but they did that too. 7-3, you said, no, my apologies, Mohaddin. 7-3 is the scoreline. You're a smart boy. Beauden Barrett, 1,551 points. He's trying to catch up with Dan Carter, but he's still got about 157 to go. Looking to tie this one up. Josh Berry does very nicely. I think he's actually managed to keep this one in there for the Blues. I don't think they're going to get this out. What do I do if I have tennis elbow? Play more tennis. It can only get better from there, right? Peter Aki goes across into the midfield. AJ Lamb tries to pump his way past David Harvilli. He's dropped on his head in the process. Not in a cynical way, just literally an awkward landing. Team ending with S win this game. And also we have got there, come on, Saders, says Josiah. Cross kick attempted there and nicely taken by Fiaki round the halfway line. I cut back in and he's done all right there. Fiaki offloads to Reves Rayhana. Bit of a foot race there between him and Cody Vai. But Finley Christie's the man who makes the tackle. Now Cody Taylor, different Cody, getting involved in this match. Hotham goes away to the right-hand side. It's the big man, Jamie Hanna, who runs up the middle. Massive gap in the Blues defence. And 7-8 the score. Now this one seems like it's going to be pretty high scoring. Hanna, he's slightly limping at the moment. Hopefully he's going to be all right with a try like that. Love to get himself another. Mike Williams. As all that separates the Blues and the Chiefs fans, really. Oh, sorry, Mount William. Devon Flanders or Torian Barnes for the All Black 6 jersey. It's a tricky one. Because I really like Devon Flanders. But I think it's going to sound harsh, but I don't know if he has a speed anymore, Devon. Oh, they're going to check this mod as well. We're at Eden Park. What are they looking for here? Oh, they're going to show foul play from the Crusaders. Direct contact to the head. This is sounding like a suspension's coming again for this Crusaders side. Who's it going to be? I think it's Dom Gardner. Are you doing the Reds game? I am not. The next game that we got is the Six Nations match between France and Scotland. India were lucky against England. That Brook drop catch when Samson was on 15. He ended up getting a quick fire 89. England lost by 7. Go the Crusaders. Says bad to the bone. But yeah, a lot of sides have been dropping catches. Right. Okay. Oh, wow. Meets the yellow card threshold here for Dom Gardner. Going in a little bit too high. Hits the jaw of Satutu. I don't think it's going to be a red because Fletcher Null was initially making the tackle, but was still upright. We're going to have to take that try back. 1 second. We'll go like that. And we're going to go like that as well. And Yellow All Day says, Dunk, are you going to a wedding? I am not, but Will Jordan is currently at one. And when's the Force versus Scotland straight after? Or sorry, when is France versus Scotland straight after? Not quite. So France versus Scotland will be happening at 3:10 a.m. New Zealand time. There's mitigation, to be fair. And not the cards again, says bad to the bone. And Dirty Crusaders again, says heptagonal ghost. Beauden Barrett. This one into touch. Red card, says NZ Unique. I would be very surprised, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me too, if that makes sense. Like, it shouldn't be a red, but who knows? Our time is 7s by me. It will be about 9 a.m. your time. No, it won't. It will be 9 p.m. your time. Tomorrow. Now, line out throw. In fact, no, it's 9 p.m. tonight, in fact, because 7 starts in about 12 hours. Finley Christie. Rolling this one through. I explained the new law about joining rucks. So pretty much, I assume the one you're talking about is when you're setting up for a box kick, you're not allowed to add an additional man and roll it back. Oh, nice break of the line. Zahn Sullivan has Clark with him. Guess who's got a double? It's Caleb Clark out on the left wing. He does a forward roly-poly. That'll test his ribcage after a bit of a knock last week. But Clark now gets another. This is similar to what we saw in the matchup last week between the Chiefs and the Crusaders. We saw some early tries for the Chiefs. Whereas the wedding, surely they could have scheduled it for a better time. I would assume that it's got to be in Auckland, or at least the person who's getting married has to be like a supporter of the Blues. Surely. McCaw was the dirtiest player in the world. Also one of the smartest gold Crusaders, says NZ. Are you going to a wedding? That's why you're not doing the Reds? No, there's no wedding here. And we have got there, Dubai is not the same. Says Future, and also we have got there, it's for the back of an attacking ruck. I thought it was already a thing. Not necessarily. If you get told to use it, you can get a free kick against you. But, yeah, if you end up committing an extra man in, I think Sam Derry was going off in the background there. Could be wrong. Bowden Barrett's at the post. It's going to keep the score at 12 points to 3. But was that Derry? It seemed like there was a camera in his face. And I don't know whether or not that was because he was making his way towards the sideline or whether he was just going somewhere and they were interested in whereabouts he was. Why is Bowden Barrett on the field? He thought he was coming off the bench. Late injury for Stephen Perafeta, so he was taken out of the starting lineup and Bowden Barrett starts in the number 10 jersey. Kicked off, long drop ball from Finlay Christie. A bit of a rough one there. And it now means that the Crusaders get a counter-attacking chance. David Harville. Slips over. They might almost consider going back for that knock-on. The Crusaders losing about 10 metres in the process of getting this one set. Fletcher, null. Short ball to Ethan Blackadder. I thought the score was 12 points to 8. It kind of, like the scoreboard still said the 8 for the Crusaders, but their try was disallowed. Can I watch you whole day? If your eyeballs will allow it. Going off to the left-hand side now for Jamie Hanna. Uh-oh. That's Antonio Chalfoun staying down. It's something midsection or knee. He might have just got a knock in the nads. Looks like Jamie Hanna might be having the same problem here. Some balls getting struck. We're not talking about the rugby one. But slow getting back up to his feet there. Jamie Hanna holding the midsection there too. The Kiwi accent is just like Aussie accent and Juice accent. It does look like the knee of Antonio Chalfoun. Speak French. I really don't know French. And I don't even think I sound French when I try and sound French. Decent crowd, says LB. One's going to be booted into touch by the Crusaders. They are going more aggressive now. 20 points to 24. Do Crusaders like a red card? They'd prefer if they didn't have one. They've currently got a yellow though. We have got there, Hamish, you look Algerian. Well, that's a first. It looks like he's going to try and continue here, Antonio Chalfoun. They've got Will Tucker, who could make his way off the bench for a Crusaders debut. Who's Blues 22 jersey? I'm not actually too sure, to be honest. I know Bowden Barrett was supposed to be off of that bench, but they did show the lineups, but I believe I was reading the chat at the time. In fact, it may have even been around that time. Look, though, we've got the try scorers going across the bottom. I've managed to get that one going. 63% possession at the moment for the Crusaders. 69% territory for the Blues. Nick Berry looks tiny next to the player, says Jasmine. I mean, he's a big boy, Antonio Chalfoun. Oh, we're going upstairs for another TMO. This is 12 minutes into the contest. Who you see winning? I mean, the Blues have got off to a brilliant start. Crusaders have the recent record against the Blues, though. But without Will Jordan, there's a lot of talk that maybe this Crusaders side won't get it going. It's not much of a shot from Torian Barnes. They're going to try and say that it's the same as the last one, but I don't think it quite is. Nick Berrywood's got a halfback, says the Sporting Kiwi, sorry. There's nothing wrong with that hit, says Kiwi Rob. Another certain yellow. I don't know if it's a certain yellow. Okay, they've said because it was the second tackler and he didn't have time to react, that angle makes it look worse. Torian Barnes actually goes upwards to make that collision. Okay, so it is going to be the penalty to the Crusaders. It's an interesting one. Lucky says dunk. And Crusaders will win all the way, says Asala. Okay, I think Nick Berry's just giving David Arvelli the options of either of the penalties. Why not go for the 3? Because they're down by 9 at the moment. And I feel like that's where they have to be a little bit more aggressive. This will use up a bit more time as well. Theoretically, they should spend less time defending if they are only 5 metres out from the opposition line. Crusaders will win all the way. Peace and love to all the Crusaders fans out there. May the next few years yield minimal tears outside of sports. Says Heptagonal goes. Nicely stolen there by the Blues, though, with Dalton Papali'i. Now Finley Christie kicking this one downfield is Bowden Barrett. Still only around their halfway line, though, so they can start to get this one going. Oh, high tackle from Hoskins Tutu round the neck of Taha Kimura. But they lost it, says Kiwi Rob. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it, when you know what's going to happen. Now, Noah Hotham going to the left-hand side. Antonio Shalthun. Sitting round. Oh, that was a hard shot on Berry's ribs. You could hear that one coming from Ethan Blackadder. Harvey, big wide, skip pass to Severies. First touch of the match for him. Oh, nice stepping all over the place. We've got a donation from Just Poker B. Thank you very much. That's greatly appreciated. Going back for that high tackle of Hoskins Tutu. According to the Crusaders website, Shalfoon is 183. I don't think that is correct. It wouldn't be. They've probably mixed them up. Is it going to be a red card? Not for that one. Hoskins Tutu, he hit him high, but nothing too, serious, I would say. There wasn't a huge amount of contact. Just went too high. Clark untouchable tonight. Yeah, already 2 tries for that man, Caleb Clark. Floodgates have well and truly opened for him throughout the Super Rugby season. Drinking in Cathedral Square, listening, let's have fun. Go Blues, says Just Poker. Yeah, they've had the best possible start to this contest. 2 tries for Caleb Clark and also a yellow card of the Crusaders still for another 4 minutes. Crusaders have another gear, says Leonard. And the other first one. I just realised I hadn't smashed the like button. You're 27 famous, says Heptagonal Ghost. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. We've got the Six Nations coming up later on tonight. That ball is in touch for the rolling maul of the Crusaders. Well defended by the Blues again, pushing them over the sideline. We'll now bring the Blues line out. What do you think of the New Zealand coach? I think that people are judging him far too early. I've seen people already trying to sack him because of what he did in a recent coaching venture rather than actually anything that he's done for the All Blacks. So, it'll be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. He said that he's not going to have too much allegiance to any of the certain players. Said he's been watching all the Super Rugby, so basing it off form was the main goal for Dave Rennie. So we'll wait to see if that's the reality. Finley Christie goes across to Bowden Barrett, still inside of the 22 here for the Blues. Christie kicks it high and long out towards the touchline and does get it out. Great commentary, brother. Love it, mate. Says Heptagonal Ghost. Thank you very much. And Crusaders will win all the way, says Asala. Again, for the 15th time in a row by the looks of it. Do you have at least a score prediction, Asala? Watch the Blues snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, says Travelling Jack. Yeah, see, they've started very well, but they have to continue this. They already want to sack him, sums up All Blacks fans, says Big Rig. Namua needs to start. Do you regret not doing the Force versus Landers game? Not at all. Don't get me wrong, it was a good game, but I am very glad that I didn't end up covering it. Going off to the left-hand side, Reves Rehana. Sever Reese now. Now Hotham goes across to Jamie Hanna. So the 2 minutes remaining of this Crusaders yellow card. Just the one try coming tonight. I've got $2 on Bowden Barrett. Well, he's at least starting in this game, Pro Pleb, rather than making his way off the bench. Best way to develop, says the AA underdog. Offload from Bowden Barrett. Now Zahn Sullivan kicks it towards the Crusaders 22. Awkward bouncing one for Reves Rehana. And another take there. Crusaders will win all the way. Once again, have you got a score prediction or you just got the same message 50,000 times? The new coach never won any game, says Mohadeen. That's correct. He hasn't won any games for the All Blacks yet because he hasn't played any. It's pretty basic. Did the Blues players make contact with the Crusaders players' head? Well, it's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Because they said it was the second tackler, which is what Dom Gardner was as well. But I think they said that Dom Gardner's one was a bit more upright. Do you prefer living in Auckland or Dubai? I don't live in either. So I can't base any sort of judgment on it. Out thrown in. Good take from Christian Leo Willie. Without that Hyder Gardner in the line out, it means that they do have to go for a different option. But just for another 40 seconds before he does return. I believe his yellow card has not been upgraded to a red. That one goes high. Bowden Barrett going up for it. Taken by Finlay Christie. They'll kick it down into Crusaders territory again. I know for the other team the coach played for never won any game, says Mohadeen. That's just not true, is it? Don't get me wrong, he lost a few games with the Wallabies, but they did win some games. This game feels lackluster at the moment, says Jasmine. That's because the Chiefs aren't playing in it. And I feel like you do love your Chiefs. But this game's going to open up 17 minutes in. We've got to remember the Crusaders have probably gone a little bit more conservative in the way that they've attacked, just with the fact that they've got the 14. They've made a couple mistakes off that line out too. But yeah, it seems like at the moment the Blues, they'd be smartest to try and get another 5-pointer here. I don't think Hamish has lived in Dubai or Auckland for that fact. Now rolling this one back. Finlay Christie, another box kick. Good take from Reves Rehana. Gets around Cody Vi, looking for the pass. Hotham has to pick it up. He's close to the sideline. Sever Reese into the halfback role. I lived in Auckland, says Jasmine, and Blues 25, Crusaders 100. And George is awesome, cool dude. I have a sense of humour. And your typing style is like how George talks. Are we talking about the Kiwi lads George or a different George? I'm a Chiefs fan, but I don't know what has happened to Simon Parker. The All Blacks call-up was too soon, it seems. I think it also was just down to they didn't know where to play him. Because Parker, he can play 6, 7, and 8. They already had an established 7 in the team. They already pretty much had an established 8 that they were chopping and changing a bit. But the problem for Parker was I don't think he was playing as good a rugby as he needed. Oh, what a run from Cody Vi. He's going to step here. Reves Rehana takes him down 5 metres out from the line. The Crusaders going to hold him up. And that is a brilliant bit of defence. The ball is tucked in there. It will not come out. And the Crusaders should get themselves the scrum, and they do. But, yeah, I think that Parker was just in, he was in good form before that injury. And then afterwards, he didn't know where he was supposed to be in that loose forward trio. Crusaders will win all the way, says Asala. I hope that you're not going to spam that all day, Asala. I hope you're going to write something else slightly productive. Do you think 100, Hamish? No, they're not scoring 100 in this game, the Crusaders. I don't think these two sides will score 100 combined. Great countryside, says Heptagonal Ghost. And let's go the Blues, says Just Poker. Cody Vi, a bit disappointed to be held up there. And a great Hamish, says Heptagonal Ghost. And a big kick up the says Just Poker. Yeah, it was a big opportunity to be able to score again. Already a quarter of the way through this contest. Back to 15 on 15. And 6-2 says the AI underdog pick. Told to use it. Ball bounces out for Christie. And in fact, there's a knock on against the Crusaders. So the Blues getting themselves in a dominant position again. I know my girlfriend live in Observatory. Observatory. Is that the one that you look up at the like planets and stars and stuff? Is that an observatory? Or am I thinking of something else? What's one of those things called? Might be an observatory though. Is Crusaders that team that always make a comeback, just like the Broncos? The Crusaders, they were very strong in the second half up against the Chiefs just last week. They didn't make much of a comeback in their second half up against the Brumbies though. Crusaders, tell you what, Asala, it's at least something different, so we will well and truly accept it. Heck weights, 917 for the Blues, 909 9 for the Crusaders. You are correct, says Pro Pleb. No, it's a place in Western Cape. Oh, okay. My apologies. Now, cross kick. Cody Vai. Oh, what a dive and what a try that might be for Cody Vai there. It is a finish and a half. As long as he has avoided that sideline, I think he's got the third of the match for the for the Blues. It's a good day to be on the wing for the Blues in this match at Eden Park by the looks of it. 3 tries now coming. They will check it, of course, to make sure that he stays in the field of play. The kick, it was a little bit too long initially, but the bounce of the ball might have been favourable. We're going to see the replay now for Cody Vai. Takes the catch. Oh, that's a great finish. Gets it down just before the knee hits the sideline. I wouldn't mind living in an aquarium if I was a fish. I guess, yeah, you'd be relatively safe as long as you're the biggest fish. That'd be the main thing. Try of the round, says Kiwi Rob. Now, kick close to the sideline for Bowden Barrett. And brings it around, gets it over. And that is going to make the score now 19 points to 3. Shades Jason Robinson, says Big Rig. Now, why the Crusaders having such a hard time in the first half this year, says Mac. They have got some pretty tough opponents, of course, but I don't think there's one definitive thing that is hurting the Crusaders. Just seems like they've been really slow starters in a majority of their matches. I thought Jody Barrett was playing for Leinster. He was last season, back from his sabbatical. Now Rico Ioane has gone to Leinster, and he's playing for them now. We have got their Blues 50, Crusaders 17. Stripped by red, they've said, Finley Christie. Another box kick, Jay Fiaki is always safe under the high ball. Taha Kimura passes it back to Cody Taylor, slapped out of the hands of Kimura initially. And up the tries, Crusaders, and up the Blues mana. If Kiwi Rob was a fish, he would be a snapper, says Pro Player. But another knock on from the Crusaders here. There's a few too many errors from some of the younger players in this Crusaders lineup at the moment. You see the frustration of Penny in the coaching box. So Leinster's like a backup of the New Zealand rugby players, says John Song. It's pretty much a cheat code so that they can go overseas and make more money while also still being eligible for the All Blacks. What's wrong with handling? Or what's wrong the handling with the Crusaders? Yeah, they've dropped the ball a lot throughout the season. Conditions, I don't think would be slippery. Right, Justin Marshall's just told the Crusaders, I think that was to sort their attitude out. I think sort the catching out would be a good start, though. Finley Christie now. Blues are currently in a position where they would receive a bonus point for having 3 or more tries. Bowden Barrett passes across to AJ Lamb close to the sideline. Lestefan Anuku. We've seen one carry from that man. I haven't seen him make a tackle, although that doesn't mean that he hasn't. We've got another donation from Just Poker there. Thank you very much. Stormers playing next week. I think it's just one game. It might be Lions Stormers. Hamish. If you were a fish, he would be a marlin. I'd take being a marlin, I think. Is marlin the one with the big Big one of those. That was a nose as well, or like a part on the face as well, not anything else. For anyone has a dirty mind. Now, ball's right near the sideline here for Christie. Leaves it alone for Zahn Sullivan. And Crusaders looking clueless. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for the Crusaders here will be to make sure that they don't concede again, just so that they can work their way back into the game throughout the second half. To use again for Finlay Christie, who will win between India and New Zealand. Tomorrow, Cricket World Cup final. Well, it's a tough one. We are going to be covering it on the channel, so we will get to see every moment of it live. Good morning, Hamish and chat says, hey, no, welcome in. You are doing extremely well. Oh, big run from Gardner. He'll be fresh after having that 10 minutes in the sin bin. Good low tackle from Marcel Renata. Hotham goes away to the left. Antonio Chalfern, after having a bit of an injury, he's going to continue in this game, and he's just dropped the ball again. Another knock on by the Crusaders, says Kiwi. I think that's a sawfish. Does a marlin have a big thing, though, too? I'm going to look up a marlin. Marlin. I like how when I put an MA, it tried to get Ma'anonu. Marlin, yeah, they got a bit of the nose thing going on. I don't know what you call it. What's a marlin's nose called? There we go. We'll find that out. Oh, we've got a scrum reset. Their nose thing is called a rostrum. Oh, there you go. Though it is more commonly referred to as a bill or a spear. I'd like to have a big rostrum. It's called a bill, says a Ruby. And Marlin's office, same thing really, says Mac Jackson. And showing your rugby Google preferences. Wales won last night, so proud of them, says Hayno. Well, they've played pretty well in the last, like even the game up against France, they did all right. Handling errors, they've only actually got the Crusaders down for 3 handling errors, but it's been a bit more than that so far. Maybe 3 that have led to a scrum, but there's been a few more drop balls. Outside of that, wide cut-out pass from Finlay Christie. Cody Vi, chip and chase, bounce to the ball is coming back in, but he has now knocked it on. Crusaders tracked 5 metres out from their line. A lot of North Island teams wins this week. And Nut Me Too says heptagonal. Now short side, Noah Hotham gets it up to the 22. That is a very solid run, although they don't have a man to be able to kick it into touch now. So Fine Anuku goes across to Fletcher Null, creating the angle once more. And now Hotham will be able to clear. And balls come out the back. How many tries so far? We've seen 3 tries, 2 for Caleb Clark, 1 for Cody Vi. All the way of the Blues. The Crusaders did score earlier with Hannah, but it was disallowed for foul play, which led to the yellow card of Dom Gardner. It's a good wide cutout pass from Finlay Christie, though. And Cody Vi just needed a better bounce of that ball. And B, not C tonight. B, not C tonight. What's that in reference to? And has Les Kiss already picked his assistant coaches? If not, the Wallabies might get Vern Cotter. I'm not actually too sure what's happening with his assistants. I know that Dave Rennie's also in a similar boat. How I'm not sure if he's selected them yet, but that's coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks if he hasn't, I believe. I believe it's up to 4th. Says Kiwi Rob, they would be if they win this game by the margin that they are. Now, we've got to remember at this stage, they have got themselves a winning bonus point from this matchup. We'll give them a nice boost. Crusaders would remain in 8th with the way that this one sits. Is Ebenezer to be back? Not quite, I don't think. I would love to see Dupont play in Super Rugby. Who would you want to see him play for? If he was to get paid, I don't think Super Rugby could afford him, but where would you want to see him play? If you had to pick a team out of all of the sides, who do you think would benefit most from Dupont? Now, penalty to the Crusaders at scrum time. They've had a couple free kicks against them in this department of the game. The Blues, you want to see Dupont at the Blues? Dupont and Bowden Barrett as a 9-10 combo is pretty handy. Blues, not Crusaders. B is not A+++, but it is better than C. The Blues definitely. Says, Lumi there, the Brumbies. Be interesting to see how you go there. Moana Pacifica, says Wafer. They have got a few halfback injuries at the moment. Who was the South African winger? Played for the Hurricanes a few years ago. Wes Goosen, I believe it was. Oh, actually, there might have been another fella after that who didn't really get a huge amount of game time at all. Or is it Goosen that you're thinking of? Oh, that's a knockdown from Caleb Clark. It's going to be an advantage in favour of the Crusaders. They may rule this as deliberate. It was kind of like a charge down from Clark. Now, Hotham. Oh, it's a hospital pass from Blackadder. No, not Vez, the other one. And it's not Geordie Filiuan, is it? There was another guy. Was he a winger? I think I know the guy you're talking about. But I can't think of his name. I think he was a winger. That wasn't yellow, says Kiwi Rob. They have given the yellow to Caleb Clark, though. He's had a fair few of those charge downs. Yeah, a winger. Oh, it's going to annoy me that I can't think of his name. I think it was 2024 that he played for them, right? Maybe. Cobus Van Vyk, was it? Could have been. Caleb Clark, low IQ, says in a light. And we have got there also, he will not turn that team around. And Blues by 20, says Octodad. Do you play cricket and rugby in jail, Hamish? I'd assume they'd have some sort of sporting activities in jail. Normally it's basketball, isn't it? I guess anything with a bat is probably not safe. Yeah, he was good. Because he was only there for about a season, wasn't he? Did he end up with an injury maybe that left him out for the rest of the season? He got under Larkham, says Raymond. Crusaders now in possession. This is their opportunity with a man advantage to get back into this contest. 2 quick fire tries. They can find themselves right back in this game, like up against the Chiefs, just losing the footing there in the breakdown. Victorian Barnes. Going short side again, George Bauer. Hits it up, Ethan Blackadder does the same. Almost wrestled into touch. That is again brilliant work from the Blues, but the penalty advantage for offside. And Cobus Van Vyk. And the Blues with Finn, says Daryl. Crusaders win by the 6. Okay, so you're going with a comeback victory for this Crusaders side. I think that everyone knows, though, for this Crusaders team, if they want to find some sort of success in the second half, they really do need a try before the end of the first. Just to give them that confidence. It's right in the corner, 5 metres out. Jamie Hanna, he is making his way off the field now with the injury. That is going to bring Will Tucker off of the bench for his debut. Shame here for Jamie Hanna. That extensive injury list of the Crusaders just gets that little bit longer. If the Crusaders lose, they will be fired, says Pro Pleb. How many people in the comments have been in jail just a night or extended period, says I Lollipop. What a fun topic for the table. Aren't you thinking of James Marshall? Don't think so. I think it was Cobus Van Vyk that he was thinking of. The Highlanders have an import, but not good enough to make the team, it seems. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that Thomas Lavanini section. Whether or not, like, with the fact that there's a Fabian Holland injury too, like, it would make more sense for him to be closer to the starting lineup. But Lavanini just getting to play as a almost rotation player. I don't believe he's played any minutes yet, has he? No Jordan, no tries. Funny that, says Shane. Although Jordan will be having fun at said wedding that he was going to. 5% of commenters have been in jail, says Octodad. And 2001 and 2004, Brumbies were great, says Demon. 5 metres out. All right, Cody Taylor kicks the ball into touch for the line out. That doesn't happen very often, does it? That even if it's an easy kick, normally they wouldn't give it to a hooker to kick it into touch, but obviously Cody Taylor said, look, I can do it. Now going to the back, he's also managed to throw the line out. Can he make it a trio and manage to score the try too? Now moving forward here for the Crusaders. Cody Taylor's over. He kicks it into touch. He throws the line out. He rolling mauls it. And he scores the first try of the match for the Crusaders here. And that is the last thing that the Blues need. And definitely if the Crusaders can go back-to-back before the halftime break. There we go. As a Canes fan, it's good to see us have a big win in Sydney. I don't think the hooker should be allowed to join the line out. So you're saying, so you want to take away the rolling maul hooker option? Is that like you still want rolling mauls though? You just can't have your number 2 join it, even if he comes through the back like everyone else and does it legitimately. Thank goodness for that, says Zakaya. Let's go. The Blues, says annoyed astronaut. Are you actually an astronaut? If so, that must be fun. I don't think I could do an astronaut course. Probably throw up. But now, misses the kick, so it makes the score 19 points to 8. Please visit jail, Hamish, says Mohadeen. For how long, though? Like, am I trying to find something that I can go for a few days just to experience it? Or are you trying to get me put in there long term? And Lol says annoyed astronaut, and also Astro Traveling. And good stretch, says the underdog pick. Yeah, he should have to go back 10 metres before joining, says Kiwi Rob. Okay, so you're getting a little bit more experimental with the mauls. So you're happy with everyone else joining it, though, from within? Or everyone in the line-out has to go back 10 metres before they're allowed to join it? Could be Cody Taylor become the All Blacks captain this year? It is a potential option. You want me to have life in jail, Mohadeen? You do know that they wouldn't let me do these streams from jail. I'll defend you, Hamish. I'm an attorney. Says I lollipop. It's good to know. It's good to know I have options just in case. Christian Leo Willie picks that up. No knock on awarded, although that ball's popped out on the side of the Blues. First one was from them, though, in terms of a knock on. Crazy, there is no internet in space. There is space with internet in it. And out-of-body experience is bad to the bone, and go the Blues. Heaps of misery onto the Crusaders. How was your buffet last week? It was actually quite sad because we couldn't find one. We had one lined up that we thought was a buffet, and we travelled there, but it just wasn't. So I think we ended up getting KFC in the end. But still awaiting a good buffet. Tim, can do you cancel or my channel? He's pretty busy, Tim. It was very great that he was able to fill in for us for the second half of the Six Nations game, but yeah, he'd probably only be able to do like one stream a week if he's lucky. Your boys win? Sadly not. Although we did only end up with 7 players in the end, which did hurt us quite a bit, as a couple of them ended up pulling out late in the morning. One's going to be kicked in behind from Raves Rayhan. Open space. Oh, he gets the bounce of the ball. Cody Vi was scared of that. Didn't want to go towards it, and now it's led to the Crusaders getting possession again, still with a man advantage for another 5 minutes. David Harvilli kicks it crossfield. Nice take from Gardner. Quick hands to Severis. He's going to show his pace, but nice take, or nice tackle from Finlay Christie. How was the KZ? It was pretty average, to be fair, but it was our last resort in that case. Hotham, Leo Willie, Raves Rayahana. There are numbers here on the outside due to that. Oh, that's a hard tackle on Taha Kimura. Nice work from Bowden Barrett defensively. Ball pops out the side for Hotham. Flick pass out. And the Crusaders have done what the Crusaders do, and that is 2 tries during the yellow card. That has now got them back into this game before halftime. And I mentioned now that first try was the last thing that the Blues would have liked to see. This is now that top set. 2 tries, and there's still time for one more before halftime. We have you there, Saders, says Tills, and also nice kick ahead, says Zakai. Yeah, Cody Vi just waited. He didn't commit to taking that ball, and from doing so, it gave Raves Rayhana an opportunity to be able to get it back. We have got there, hi Hamish, or Hamasi if you Samoan, says Sock. And go the Blues. Heaps of misery onto the Crusaders, says Jack. And also become the first person to commit a crime in space. And on another Blues choke. And also we have got the Yawn says Heptagonal Ghost. And usually when I listen to a song, I watch it on YouTube. You ahead of me? Yeah, another try, says Zakaya. Is Eden Park quite empty? It will always look quite empty when a Super Rugby game's on, purely because of the massive size. I'd say they've, I don't want to say 20,000 in attendance, but I'd say probably 15,000. Somewhere around there. It's just the fact that it seats so many, though. Hopefully they do an attendance number at the end of the match, though. That's normally when we see it. That kick has missed the way to the side, so it keeps the score at 19 points to 13. And Barkett's huge, says Alummi. There's more Crusaders fans in the chat than Blues fans tonight, says them in the 11th. Blues should take Finley Christie off now. He's so bad. One New Zealand stadium will be the same, says Mac Jackson. Yeah, with the exception of, I think, the first round game is sold out. But, like, that's the problem when you play in large stadiums built for international rugby, is you're just never going to fill it up in the way that they'd like to, unless, of course, it's playoff rugby later on in the season. But early on, it's hard to fill it. Even if it is a Saturday, like, there's still other stuff that is normally on. Whainanuku passes across on the outside to Che Fiaki. He goes for a grubber, gets round Peter Aki. They're starting to catch the ball quite nicely now, this blue side. Bowden Barrett close to the sideline, slips back over, falls to the ground. That's well done from Leicester. Whainanuku did not make the tackle on him, or else it would have been a penalty. So another 2.5 minutes remaining of the Blues yellow card of Caleb Clark. Rushing up quickly was David Hartvelli. Ball's knocked backwards by the Blues. So just come back again. What are you thinking about the All Blacks coach, as he's the man for the job? I think that it's tough to tell, but, you know, at least they've got a coach now. It just seemed ridiculous how long it took between Razor getting sacked and having a new coach in the role. Barrett is playing, says Iceman. That'll be a penalty against Sam Derry for holding on to the ball. So 30 seconds remaining. And again, a chance for the Crusaders to get it going before halftime. Sorry, Hamish, but Black Cats won't win. To be fair, they're underdogs, so they're not really supposed to. Penalties conceded, 1 against the Crusaders, 8 against the Blues. So the Blues' discipline has let them down. The Crusaders' handling has let them down. There's plenty of excitement for the second 40 minutes. Now line out for Cody Taylor. Not the straightest line out we've ever seen. Referee says, meh, we'll keep it going. There's a knock-on from the Crusaders, and that will be half-time. Only 1 minute remaining of that yellow card, but that will carry over into the second half. Scriptures say, like I said, with Italy and Argentina, there is another scripture fear. Only 7 weeks for that level of position. It wasn't too bad, but it felt like forever, says Sakaya. After the casino, what number should I play for the roulette? Nah. Because if you lose, then I'm the one who told you the wrong number. And if you win, I won't see a single cent of that. So really, you've got to make that decision yourself, Mac. Can the Blues hold on? Well, the crazy thing is, only 10 minutes ago, they were up 19-3, and it seemed like it was firmly in control. But that's exactly what happened for the Chiefs up against the Crusaders last week. How they had the control. It seemed like it was going their way, and then it just kind of stopped. Bowden Barrett incoming. He's been playing the whole match due to that late injury change of Stephen Petafeta being out. He's had a few decent moments too, Bowden Barrett. He had the cross-kick assist to Cody Vai. He assisted the assist on the Caleb Clark first try. They've been quite involved already throughout this match for Bowden Barrett, but these are the future matches for these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. We'll quickly remove that one just for a second. Moana Pacific up against the Crusaders in 2 weeks' time. But before that, the second last game will be Apollo Project Stadium for that match. That is up against the Highlanders, a contest that we have already seen for the season for the Blues. They play Moana Pacifica next week on the Sunday. They then play the Waratahs the week after, and then the Fijian Drua the weekend after that. So some exciting games still to come for these two sides. Of course, we're still very early on in the season as well. This is the way that the table currently sits. That is updated after the most recent Highlanders Western Force game. Crusaders, if they were to win this game, they potentially move as high as 5th. If they do it without the bonus point. If they do it with the bonus point, they would have to win it by quite a substantial margin. We're looking at about 25 points to go ahead of the Waratahs. For the Blues, they can go as high as, I'd say, 4th. I don't think they're going to win this game by 74 points. That is what they need to do to go above the Hurricanes. So above the Waratahs, though, more than doable. They do win this game by the 4. Currently, they are winning by the 6, so they are doing what they need to. Black Cats could win, because South Africa thrashed India, and New Zealand thrashed South Africa, I believe, in Satna. And did Scotland ever beat France and Italy? Beat England? Can they win? Scotland have beaten France before. Now, they do need to make sure that they beat them in this matchup if the Six Nations is going to stay alive. If not, then France, I would say will pick up the win just with how it sits. Good stream, keep it up, mate, says Mac Jackson. And there too, and we have got plenty more coming up tonight. We've got that match between Scotland and France for the Six Nations. That is kicking off at 3 a.m. New Zealand time, but I will be up covering that matchup. Alongside that, we've also got the game after that, Italy versus England, and then from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. New Zealand time, we have got the Vancouver Sevens. So, plenty more coming up in the channel's near future. 3 times the capacity of Eden Park at the Cricket World Cup final, says Bad to the Bone. That is pretty insane, isn't it? And as I said, Crusaders by 40. Bone about to break it open, though. I have to be brutally honest. It's time for Razor to start coaching the Crusaders again. Penny hasn't been delivering. Same standard, says it's Razor sharp, baby. And the thing is, now Razor does have his door open in terms of like the potential option. He is going to be coaching the Barbarians. But, you know, next season, who knows who we'll see. And does Razor only look at the Crusaders as their option in terms of the coaching role? Or does he look elsewhere in New Zealand? That would be quite crazy, though, to see Razor, let's just say, for instance, coaching the Blues or coaching the Chiefs or anyone like that. That would feel almost a little bit weird, I would think. No doubt about it, though. The Crusaders are definitely struggling this year, says Heptagonal Ghost. Oh. They've got Catch the Colonel back. Now, last year, the Colonel was extremely rigged because he had taken all the performance-enhancing drugs that he could because he was just absolutely flying. He actually ran the distance quicker than Usain Bolt last season. It looks like it's the width of the field this year rather than the length. Let's see if any of the two can catch the Colonel. They've actually got 2 of them racing here. Right. Can they catch the Colonel? It's kind of a weird name for it when you think about, oh, no, the Colonel's gone. How quick is that bloke? Oh, no, he slowed down. He decided to stop on the halfway line, and in fact, they are doing the full length of the field, or are they? No, they went to halfway. I think both of them bet the Colonel. They're still running. Oh, okay, so they added 2 Catch the Colonel people, like challenges, and it's only the first one to beat him wins. The other bloke doesn't get chicken. That seems a bit rough. We have got their world is falling apart, but we still got rugby. Says Sash and Callum Harkin, All Blacks Bolter. Says the Sporting Kiwi. Maybe. If he keeps on playing the way that he has been, I'd say he's got a decent chance. Although, where do you put him? Do you play him as a 15 or a 10 in that All Blacks setup? And Bullabro says Asala there. And in the Six Nations, Wales aren't doing too bad. Yep, they're losing. They've been competitive. Hopefully they're on their way up. Yeah, it's been a bit of a shame that they haven't had any points to show for what they've been able to do throughout their matches. You know, they've had a few close ones. They've had that 1 bonus point up against Scotland, though, I should mention. But, you know, up against Ireland, I think they deserved a bonus point. But they just didn't get there. I wonder if Rassi Erasmus would be interested in the Highlanders job once Jamie Joseph takes over the AB's role in 2027. Only if he's not going to be in charge of the box would he look at other type of jobs, I would say. Liam is coming off 8th tomorrow. Liam is coming off 8th tomorrow. I assume is that the Formula 1, right? You stumped me for a second. The first name that came to mind was Liam Coombs Fabling, but I was thinking, no, he played yesterday. I've asked them Bolt Dreamers. And no chance for Harkin, too many ahead of him. And he can play both. Might be between him and Stephen Petafeta. Will Raves come down to South Africa? Kid is good. I don't know if he will. It depends on how many halfbacks and first fives they pick. Because you'd assume that Raves, Godfrey would have been in there, I believe, as a potential bolter, similar to Raves had it not been for a season ender. I think that Cameron could have even been in the running, but he is out for the season. So I'd say at the moment it's between Raves, Rehana, Cam Miller, Petafeta, Harkin. That's probably your... and Jacob. Those are probably your 5 that aren't Bowden, Barrett, McKenzie, and etc. who have a chance of going too. And I still haven't seen a performance at Super Rugby level from Leo Willie that justifies his All Black selection yet. Even like the game last week when he got man of the match for his hat-trick. Caleb Clark so far, though, 2 tries, 4 carries, 56 metres, gained 2 defenders beaten, but 2 tries for the Crusaders during the period where Caleb Clark has been off the field. Go Lawson and SVG. Says bad to the bone. Guess the player. Career mainly in the 2010s to early 2020s. Brumbies, Wallabies, Leicester Tigers, Rebel. Primary positions 10 and 12. Oh. And they're not playing now. Early 2020s is when they finished, right? Trying to think of who were the early guys that went to Leicester Tigers, because there were a few guys that were kind of the trailblazers of, there's rugby in England. And he was probably one of them, you'd assume. The Rebels as well. Is it? No. Wouldn't be Matt Tamua. He was later than that, wasn't he? Leo Willie was great last week, says Zakaya. It sounds like a Debreceni. Says it's Razor. And the loser of the KFC race should still get a tray of eggs, right? And also, can you halfback stand the pressure? Yep, bingo, Matt Tamua. Tell you what, I got extremely lucky there, because if it wasn't Matt Tamua, I was drawing a complete blank. And to be fair as well, I didn't actually remember that he was at the Leicester Tigers. That was just a guess. So, got lucky because of the Rebels connection. That was the one part that almost helped me out. Can halfback stand the pressure from the Bocklus trio? That's the question. It is a very good question, and it's a very hard one to answer at this point in time, because we don't even know who the halfbacks are going to be. You'd assume Hotham, you'd assume Roygaard, maybe Ratamo as well, and then perhaps someone else in the mix in that case. Currently 6 points difference, though, between these two sides. 19 points to 13. There's another game just around the corner, Reds versus Brumbies. I won't be covering that one on the channel, mainly because I might fall asleep during it. Not because of the match itself, just because of how long I've been awake for. How good is Peter Aki? Does he stand a chance to get into the ABs? I would still pick, if I was going to pick between him and AJ Lamb for the midfield, I'd pick Lamb. I think he's been solid, Peter Aki, but he hasn't had a huge amount of running meters that I can think of that have been like absolute breakthrough runs, if that makes sense. Like, he does a lot of good things. He does some brilliant passing in terms of setting up other players, but I think normally the All Blacks want that crash ball at 12, don't they, or at 13. Bodo Barrett just needs to run faster, don't slow down to kick everything away. Dylan Pledger getting injured, future AB's 9. He'll be there in 2027. The Wars have the worst haircuts, though. Says bad to the bone. Peter Aki has no chance to make the ABs this year. Too many good midfielders. He was kicking for the Crusaders. Reves Rehana, I believe, is the man striking them. Although it could actually be Taha Kamara. I'm not actually too sure. Hang on, I'll have a look. I think it was Reves, though. I'm going to have a quick check. I'm thinking Roygaard and Jacob, or Roygaard and Reves. That might be spicy. Lots and lots of pace. Says Sash. And yeah, his kicks haven't been too bad. Reves Rehana in general play throughout this match so far. And we go action. Reves Rehana has missed 2 so far. There's a few in the competition for the worst haircut, says Zakaya. Yeah, see, Noah Hotham's hair's, it was pretty rough at the start. It's gotten slightly better now, though, since it's grown out that little bit. If Dede Alangi is available for AB selection, might choose him as a bolter. Is he? I thought he was still... I thought he played for Fiji last year, didn't he? Medi Dede Alangi. And also we've got their holding balls of what, says Bro Pleb. Peter for Akali. Maybe. Could see him in a Tongan kit. Only because of regrowth, says Zakaya. And the Blues doing a Chiefs. Then the Crusaders back into it, says Dunk. Yeah, that last 10 minutes of the half was like nothing short of, you'd have to say, almost terrible for the Blues. In terms of the momentum shift of this contest, they have given this Crusaders side belief that they can come back into the game. And that's the last thing that you want. Although we do need to also mention that the Blues were playing with only 14 on the field during that period where the Crusaders were starting to get their momentum going. They're trying to sell me a mega 98-inch TV. I don't think that would fit on the wall although it would be bloody good to watch the World Cup on. G'day Hamish, out of the cricket go. So my junior side lost in the end, unfortunately, although they did have a very good effort for only having 7 players. I think that they just unfortunately hit the ball in the air a couple too many times, got caught, but bowled really well as a unit. So there were some promising signs there. Our second grade team also did lose. I was initially just going to be running drinks, but actually ended up having to play for about probably 5 or so overs because one of the players ended up with a bleeding nose, so he had to go off. So it's been an eventful day. This is only it's our second live stream of the day, technically. Our first full-length live stream. I think Lamape has been disappointing so far for Moana, though. Big name, signing with little impact, a bit like Aki. What about Samisi Tupatea Loa as a bolter for a big charging number 8 for the ABs? That is a more potential option, I do think. Getting married in November. I'm not sure if you're talking about me or you, but if I am getting married in November, I don't know about it yet. It should fit anywhere. I seriously need an upgrade, says Zakaya. Having the cricket in New Zealand is full contact, says Sash. I think it was just down to the heat, which is why running the drinks, like normally we wouldn't have someone running drinks, which is one of the big reasons why today I decided to skip that Highlanders Force game and just go down there and got all the water bottles sorted out because it was cooking. Rough day at the cricket can make it a long day. Yeah, although it's still good fun. I got a run out, which I don't normally do, during my about 5 overs on the field. Although I did say that the bowler, I gave credit to him for the run out. Even though the umpire said it was a direct hit, the bowler claimed that he touched it first beforehand. So I just put it down as his. Sorry to tell you this, Hamish, but you are betrothed henceforth. What century is that wording from, Heptagonal? I hope Lamape would come back good too, but sorry about it. Hello, Hamish Force, what time at that game, please, Landers? That has already happened, Daniel. I won't give you a spoiler as to what happened in that contest if you want to watch the replay. And then Reds Brumbies later on tonight is the next contest, although I am not covering that one either. I am going to be sleeping so that I can be full of energy for the all-nighter as well as all day tomorrow streaming the 7s. Now going back just outside of the 22. They are not back to the 15 as of yet for the Blues. Still another minute remaining. Betrothed means to be married or engaged. Okay, I get you. So, yeah, I guess I have to find someone, won't I? Why are we doing it in November, though? Surely you're doing it in December, just so that it doesn't overlap with international rugby. Can you skip halftime? Halftime has now passed. As in, like, for the Six Nations, or... That one's going to be kicked high. Taha Kamara will speed up the tempo for the Crusaders. He's so fast. If he's on the bench tonight, or watch out for the Blues. He's in the starting lineup for the Crusaders in this match, playing in the 15 jersey. David Harvelli keeps the kick nice and low, bouncing up into the hands of Zahn Sullivan. He hasn't had a huge amount of chances to be able to run this ball forward. 14th century, betrond. Is that how you'd say it? Betrond. And Italy over England, though. Now moving away to the right-hand side. David Harvelli looking for the kick downfield from Leicester. Whainanuku. I'm getting married, says Mohadin. Congratulations. Who are you getting married to? Hamish says 17 grandkids. I don't know about that. That would mean that I would have to have had a child, and that child would have had to have 17 children. Or I would have had to have multiple children, and they would have to have children. And Boda Barrett targeting Reese, says Dunk. Now attack and run from Vi. Moves up to the halfway line. The Caleb Clark yellow card will expire as soon as there is a stoppage in play. But so far throughout the first 2 minutes, we haven't had one. That was a knock-on from Zahn Sullivan. Referee rules it as backwards. I have no idea how he could have. They have now ruled it as a knock-on. I think they're going to call it as a knock-on against the Crusaders first. Hamish has 100 wives. How about you get all your snacks and drinks together and doing a continuous sevens commentary? No. Much easier just to have the little breaks in between. Because that way I can actually set up the live streams as well. Because of the fact that the sevens streams no longer have the ability of an automatic scoreboard like this one, I actually have to do it by hand. And I can't have all of the games open tab by tab more than about 5 in a row without it glitching out. So because of that, I need that gap in between every 4 or so streams to be able to set up the next 4. When is the T20 final? 2:30 a.m. is when it's going to be taking place. And that is on Monday morning. I'm also going to be covering that one. Are you doing all the 7s? Not all of them, but probably about, I'd like to do at least 10 games, if not 15 for the first day. Fletcher Null not happy with what's happening there. Alpha Tunga Fasi also looking off to the touch judge saying, can you sort this fellow out? Who's going to win the 7s? Tricky one. Because it's just whoever's had the best month preparation. I think Fiji will be up there, although a tough group with France, Australia and Argentina. South Africa, if they can get through their group, which I think they will. I think New Zealand and South Africa should go through. Are you doing Reds Brumbies? I am not. That's another game that we are missing for the sake of being able to do an all-nighter and continuing on. Is it your channel or are you sharing the proceeds, bro? So the thing is, it's like I'm the one who does like a lot of the stuff on the channel, but at the same time, the channel doesn't make enough to actually like pocket anything, if that makes sense. Most of the time, it just goes straight back into the streaming software. It goes into the Sky Sports subscription and, you know, all the other little bits and bobs, editing software. So it's one of those ones that, like, if there was more every once in a while, like a small bonus, it would go to me. But at the same time, if, like, George or anyone comes onto the streams, I make sure that they're well, like, looked after. Same with, like, if my mum comes on a stream. I remember a while ago for the Women's World Cup, we bought her the Black Ferns kit. For the Cricket World Cup, I think I bought her a Black Caps kit as well from coming on a couple of the streams. Now, Cody Vi going up for a slap back there. Nicely done. Zahn Sullivan goes to Anton Segner. That was a big shot on him by Harvilli. And Bowden Barrett skip pass now to the left-hand side. AJ Lamb. It would have been nice to see him actually accelerate there, but instead just kind of jogged up to the line. The cricket streams were doing all right for views, says Sash. That is true. Although cricket is our lower revenue gainer, just because a lot of people pop in for half a second, realise I'm not speaking Hindi, and then leave. Sounds like my theatre company. Any profits go into the next production, says Zakaya. Pretty much, yeah. It goes into trying to keep the channel running. Every once in a while, I have to put in a little bit of my own, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Bowden Barrett pass out wide. Cody Vine now bumps off Harvilli. 10 metres out there, driven into touch this time now, or are they? They might need to check this one. Bowden Barrett's claiming the try. This might be a very sneaky try down the short side for the Blues here. You got to be on your own, my bro, says Just Poker. Pineapple belongs on pizza, please discuss, says Gary. They've actually ruled this as a try here. They're going to check the replay. Initially, it looked like he was going to be driven into touch, Cody Vi, but may have just freed up the hands. No, his knee's on the line. And Bowden Barrett, he has managed to score it anyway. What time is the Brumbies game? Oh, that one's going to be a slamming tackle. It is at 9:30-ish, 9:35 p.m. New Zealand time. Right, they're checking it now, Cody Vi, to see if his knee was in touch. It was, unfortunately for him. And also, you could perhaps add the commentary for the cricket stream live on YouTube. I think that would still be copyright, unfortunately, the provincial cricket. It would be cool to be able to do it, but yeah, I think they are pretty strict in terms of where that can be shown. Right, they're now doing a TMO for the knee in touch that we saw. Right, overturn the on-field decision a try, as it is in touch. And we have got their blue tides shining in the sun. Just joined, congrats to Dave Rennie, the right guy for the job. We'll find out. I like the fact that they've got a coach, though, rather than not having one. I wish we could like other people's comments, says Zakai. I think the only ones you can like are donations. I believe YouTube have like a heart feature for that, or you can like a donation, but you can't like a comment, sadly. Not that I know of, anyway. So the likes of MPT, for instance, perfect timing. I hadn't even seen that one at the time of mentioning it. You guys can like MPT's one. Tell you what, if you're there in the chat, leave a like on the comment. Let's see if we can get, I don't know what a good donation like goal is, like 10 likes on it. I guess, or something like that would be great. We'll see whether or not that's a thing. Now just out from their own line here, the Crusaders defending. So they get the attack going once more here for this Blues side. Penalty advantage. Dalton Papali'i in his 101st match. Still moving. Oh, you can't like stickers? Oh, can you actually not? Is it only like worded donations that you can like? Huh. Interesting. So it has to be like a comment with words. Now going off to the left-hand side, Cody Vai, that needed to go on the outside. Just hanging on to it too long. Over the ball for Leicester. Whainga Nuku, but they'll go back for the penalty. You can't like them, you can only enjoy them. I don't see a button on the Super Chat or the dono. CS Katzenel. I think on a phone it's a little dollar sign. And on the PC, it might also be the same thing, a little dollar sign somewhere lurking around. I think you also have to have them enabled though. So 2-2, 2 metres out. And closer there, this time Sam Derry. They have to score here, the Blues. They're up by 6. This would make it 13 if the kick goes over. Now Papali'i. 2 told to get out of it. That was Cody Taylor. Renata plays half. Now closer to the line for Josh Berry. The Crusaders are going to hold him up. They try and tie up the ball. Can't quite do it. Now Finley Christie. This one's going to be spread. Bowden Barrett passes on. Cody Vai out to Clark for the hat trick. He's had an eventful game. He scored 2 tries, got yellow carded, comes back out, scores another one. And now the Blues, after 48 minutes, they have got that lead by 11 with a kick to come. And Bowden's try was disallowed. It was, but this one will certainly not be. Making a big collision there in the middle of the park for Zahn Sullivan. And Cody Vai passes it across to Caleb Clark there. Oh, who says heptagonal ghost? They could win. They certainly could. They're in a good spot at the moment. Thought the Blues had 24. What happened? Says Iceman. So they did score. It was disallowed. And now they've got 24 again. Why is Rich Moanga not back for the Crusaders? He's only eligible from, I think it's November onwards and next season. Bowden Barrett now sitting on 1,553 points. And curves that one around again. Adds the additional 2, making it 26-13 in favour of the Blues. Now, they did actually beat the Crusaders at Eden Park 26-6 a few years ago. Thank you, says Marshall. And Papali'i AB's cap. I think he's going overseas, isn't he? So he's probably blown that opportunity of getting in the ABs now. All right, Dom Gardner, he has made his way off. And Corey Callow, I believe, is his replacement there. Can I phone you? Says Mohadeen. Probably not, just because if I give out my number, then everyone will ring it. That happened a little while ago. I told a couple people the number, and then it just spammed for a good, month. The doctor might change that, says the AA underdog pick. How long to go, please, says Sharon. Still another 30 minutes remaining. Will Tucker off to the left-hand side. You think Caleb Clark is good enough compared to the other AB's wingers? I would say yes. And I mentioned it when he scored his first try last week. I said that Caleb Clark now will find a lot more tries throughout this season. And I don't see him scoring any less than now from here, about 15 tries. That's a bold statement. That's actually very bold because he only scored one last year, didn't he? I know Moonga is attending your wedding that you have arranged for you, says Heptagonal Ghost. One's gone backwards, picked up by the Blues. Oh no, knock on from the Crusaders in that case. Bowden Barrett down the middle. And this one's just going to keep on rolling into the in-goal area. Still waiting for it. Reves Rehana realised it wasn't going dead. Decides to run it out instead. And that one's gone into Bowden Barrett's hands, just inside of his own half. Oh, Hotham went up for it. Knocked back by the Blues. Segner finds Satutu. 40 metres now out from the line. They are 1 try away from getting that bonus point back. In fact, I think they actually... Oh no, because of 2 tries for the Crusaders, wasn't it? So they still need 1 more to get the full 5 points from a victory here. And Christie, short side again to Dowry, breaks through. The tackle attempt from the Crusaders, number 22. In this case, being Sifaloy. Are you the richest person on earth? No. Sadly not. If I was, we would have some sort of very fancy broadcast going on. Plus, we probably have the rights to actually show the game. So you guys probably wouldn't want to hear too much of me. You want to see the rugby instead. Oh, big shot on Zahn Sullivan. How do they pick the AB squad? So many awesome players. It's a tricky one, and you always get told that you're wrong in the squad selection if you are the coach. No matter who you pick. If you picked a dream team, they'd still say, no, this player should have been in instead. Come on, the bonus point away. Or anyway, says Heptagon or Ghost. I'm to Valvinus once. They put his phone number on Raw, and he got like 500 calls from random fans. And Crusaders, a shadow of the Giants they once were, says Gerhard. Down by 13 at the moment. 2 converted tries would get them back into the lead in this match, but one more try for the Blues would secure that bonus point for now, and also, you'd have to argue, would win them this game with the amount of difference here. The Welsh flanker had a massive game in defence. He made over 30 tackles. He's the guy that got eye gouged by Etzebeth during Autumn Nations series, but had a huge game against the Irish today, says John. That would have been, was it James Botham? Or Alex Mann. It might have been Alex Mann, actually. Turnover there for the Crusaders in the breakdown. Dallas McLeod is also onto the field. Tapia is out there for Tuangafasi. Risky offload. Bump back from McLeod. Whananuku tackled, although an offload goes to Shalfoon. So it does seem like they're about to up the tempo here. Some nice stepping from McLeod, another man who is going overseas. Hotham, another knock on. The kick is downfield, and it's going to be advantage over, close to the sideline. Looks like an injured Crusader on the far side of the field. It might be... Oh no, in fact, it's Peter Arkey. They went a little bit too close to him, so they will have the stoppage now. Alex Mansey's pro plebe and Caleb Clark hat-trick on these fellas. I would feel really good, says W. Although, a hat-trick and a win will feel a lot better. So, you know, they need that win here too, the Blues, or else they'd feel like that was all for nothing. Are you wealthy? I am not. But we make do. That's a really ugly way that Peter Aki has fallen there. Looks like it's an ankle or maybe a knee. And we have got there, you have to hand it to the Blues. They've come back well, says Heptagon or Ghost. And Dan Carter, come back, please. Richie McCaw. So Taylor will make his way on for Arkey. Still is holding that right ankle. Do you like Auckland Eden Park Stadium upgrade? Yes. Have they done the upgrade? I didn't even notice. Why are so many people asking you if you're rich tonight? No idea, really. And Carter's got the players, just the coaches on another level of ignorance. Colin Slater's Crusaders GOAT. Why is Bowden in this team? The bloody aimless kicking. No man, take him off. 68 kicks, says Oswald. To be fair to him, though, he's done decently off the kicking tee today for Bowden Barrett. Seeing 3 from 4. They are just showing the Brumbies making their way into the stadium at GIO. They're going head to head with the Reds. Just around the corner. Do you think Doug Howlett would upgrade this Blues side? As in, like, now or back in his day? Because I feel like back in his day is probably self-explanatory. Now, probably getting a little bit older. Looks like Peter Arkey is done. He's at least walking off the field, and a little bit of a limp there for him. And we have got there people forget Dan Carter was also the Blues team, or was a part of the Blues team. I just didn't play a game, never understood how that worked. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? That was in about 2021, was it? Or somewhere around there. Hey, much love on the show. What's the best game of rugby you've ever watched or commentated on? Ooh. That's a very good question. I mean, doing the whole of the World Cup was pretty awesome. With the fact that, you know, we didn't get to do the 2019 World Cup. Oh, penalty goes the way of the Crusaders at scrum time. But being able to cover it start to finish every single game in the middle of the night pretty much all of the way through, other than when we got to see the occasional 9 a.m. game here in New Zealand, like that was pretty special. But in terms of other games, like there's been so many good ones. Sadly, my memory is getting worse. So I can't actually remember most of the games that we've covered, which is pretty rough. But like there's been some really good ones. Like last minute finishes are absolutely awesome. Even like I think a Ramphilly Shield game, Otago versus someone was a really good one. It might have been Otago Southland or Southland Canterbury or something. A Rugby League World Cup this year, mate. We are going to be covering it on the channel as well. Paper Hearing says Edward John. Nicely taken there. Going away to the left-hand side for the Crusaders. Short ball from Callow finds Whainanaku. Currently, the penalty count is still heavily against this Blues side. 9 against them compared to the 2 of the Crusaders. But the handling errors. Crusaders have been stacking them up big time, although now trying to find another try. Need a stack of them. They want to go on to win this game. Fletcher Null. Oh, looking to steal that ball was Torian Barnes, told to get out of it. Give all your money to us on the channel, says Mohadine. At least you asked nicely, eh? Whoever there dug out was the bestest, says Gary. Oh, Renata almost got the steal. I think the Blues have managed to turn that over. Yes, they have. Seems to be a lack of ball security in the Crusaders' breakdown. Either that or just a relentlessness from this Blues side. Bowden Barrett kicks downfield, but it steeply bounces to Havili. You know, he can't quite get around, but a great pass. Cody Taylor, there was a second there where it seemed like he was shaping up to kick, and in fact, it's not going to be him. It's going to be Corey Callow, who goes for the kick instead. Just seems to be given possession back to the Blues. Bowden Barrett to Sullivan. If we all gave $5, that would cover tonight's buffet, says Zakaya. That would be a big buffet too. 350 people watching. That would be like a $1,050 buffet. No, that's even more than that. That was working on $3 a head. Be about a $1,500 buffet, even more than that. Now, Reves Rehana. Puts it high. Oh, Fiaki lands hard on his back. Bounces back onto the side of the Blues. This really is their game to lose. I'm not seeing much coming back from this Crusaders side at the moment that says they have any chance of being able to win this one. Have you been approached by any TV networks to do commentating, Ham? I have not. Although, back in the day, I did a little bit of commentary for a small table tennis league in India. So there you go. That was a good few years ago. It wasn't like any sort of professional or even amateur thing. It was just like the equivalent of like a game of touch rugby on a Friday night was what it was. But did commentate that. That's kicked and a mark taken by David Havili inside of the 22. $10 buffet with your choice of rice or with or without soy sauce, says Pro Pleb. A few the buffet for a couple of weeks, says Zakaya. Have you crossed the bridge to freedom? Where's that bridge? Nicely taken by Zahn Sullivan. Bowden Barrett kicks it back downfield. It's become a bit of a territory game now between these two sides. Please never write off the Crusaders, says Sharon. I know that it's one of those things that as soon as you write off the Crusaders, they come back into a game. But I don't know. The handling's been poor in the early stages of this contest. And even in the second half, after, having a few decent moments, just haven't found their rhythm. The Harbour Bridge, says Octodad. And that one's going to go into touch. It's going to be a Blues throw-in. Almost thought about going quickly there. Clark, number 8, says Edward. As in like Caleb Clark is the 8 or Shay Clark? Tofa Funaki, he comes on for Christie. And Cruz seem to have checked out for the past 5 minutes. Probably shows how organised the Blues are. And we'll be back-to-back world champions. If they win the World Cup, New Zealand will achieve the double if they win the men's and women's T20 World Cups. I could cover the Brumbies game for you if you want, Hamish. I haven't set anything up for it. But I mean, if you're keen and I did do the overlay for it, to be fair. So I mean, if you really want to, you can. I just have to whip up a thumbnail and everything to get it all prepped. Oh, another penalty. I didn't touch it. I released it when you said, says Papali'i. How long is left, says Pro Pleb? At the moment, there is still another 22 minutes left of this matchup. And Jordan 11, Clark at 8, says Edward. Also, you're playing Caleb Clark as a forward in general. In that case, and Blues have such a good attacking backline and we're kicking the ball away. It's like we lack confidence. Yeah, they just seem to not know what they want to do with it at this stage. Tars got hammered, says Invincibles. Do you like stadium food? I don't mind some hot chips. Like, hot chips go a long way in my books. And normally I base a place off their hot chips. If you can cook hot chips, you can normally cook other things. I got to get some work done, then send you a message after this game and let you know. Says Hayno. See, I'm probably sleeping close to straight after this one. Oh, no, I'm scheduling a few streams, so maybe I can schedule it in there too, depending on what your plan is. It's going to be an advantage now, 11 wide offside. That is against Caleb Clark. Backline movement here for the Crusaders. Still down by 13 with time left on the clock. Guess what? They dropped the ball again. Hot chips. I must have chicken salt. Even just without the chicken salt, a good chip is a good chip. Hot chips and smuggled beer. Do you have a day job? Have you shared that info before? I do have a day job during the week. Although I have Monday off because there's Sevens and the T20 World Cup. So that's good. Clark 12, maybe a number 8. So what's more likely, Crusaders win from here or Scotland beat France? I think the more likely out of those two, I don't want to jinx it, is Scotland beating France. Oh man, I love chips. I love chips too. And Hamish, who do you think will be the starting All Blacks winger under Rennie? It's a tricky one. I think that Nada was probably in there. I would say that Clark will be in there too. Tangi Tau has a decent shot. Carter's probably in the mix. Fiaki has to be with the way that he's able to take a high ball with how much the All Blacks have struggled under that high ball throughout the last 12 or 24 months. How many is that? Is that too many? That's probably too many. Another knock on from the Crusaders. In fact, it's going to be a free kick here for an accidental offside. Do you think Damien McKenzie is top 10 All Blacks of all time? I don't know about top 10, but he's a pretty handy player, McKenzie, up there. We're at 4.5 days a week, pretty lucky presently. I'm trying to sort out where I'm going for spring break. I think in Dishabalti, says Akaya. And what do you reckon the Blues are shaping up as better than last season? I think so. I think that they've had their early mistakes, but neither of their games that they lost by a lot. So that's one big thing for the Blues. Oh, a big aerial challenge there. It's going to be knocked back by Caleb Clark. And he's had a good day under the high ball. Oh, Funaki. This has just all been the Blues. Crusaders get the ball for one phase and then they drop it. Whereas the Blues, they have been able to hang on to it phase after phase, although they possibly are falling back into a little bit of a mistaking play, how they just keep on kicking the ball away and giving it back to the Crusaders. And, you know, that's the type of side that eventually will get it right. Jay Fiaki goes up for the high ball. Papali'i managed to get it back for the Blues, though. 8 on the Soccer World Cup, maybe a couple games of that competition. Bowden Barrett goes back away. Charge down, kicker Zahn Sullivan. Cody Taylor chasing after it. Awkward bouncing ball, but Clark gets the bounce of it. They're inside of their 22 now, the Blues. 18 minutes still left on the clock. In your opinion, which fast food chain has the best fries? I love Macca's chips. I do like Burger King's new fries. McDonald's, they're pretty solid overall too. As long as they're hot. As soon as they get cold, they're pretty rough. McDonald's chips, you got to eat them within about 10 minutes or they go bad. Who else has chips? Pizza Hut chips are pretty average normally. Domino's the same. Maybe that's just where we are though. Oh, that was almost a kick in the head for Noah Otham. He slid into touch and again it will be the Blues ball. Do you have an in and out? We don't. McDonald's chips are too thin. And terrible level, says in a light. And come on, Blues beat those red and black fellows, says Invincible. Line out throw now for the Blues again. It is James Mullen. That's a rough line out. Great hands from Antonio Chalfoun. KFC chips are good on their day, but they can also be a bit rough too. I think if you get a fresh KFC chip with the right seasoning, it can be a good day at the office. That's a rough pass from Harvilli. Goes to Reese now, though, running it sideways, lined up and chopped down by, that's another steal and a breakdown. There's a lot of those happening. How the Crusaders have the ball at the back of their ruck and the Blues manage to somehow rip it away. Awkward bouncing ball picked up now by Safaloy. No, it's probably the best in my opinion. Says Haino there. KFC chips and gravy we set. 16 minutes on the clock. Still 13 separating these two teams. On left. Skip pass. Cody Taylor. Callow cuts in. That was another high tackle from Hoskins to Tutu. He just yells out a word that I cannot repeat. But he was not happy about it. Gold takeaways probably have the best chips. Says bad to the bone. Depends on the franchise. For any fast food though, pizza, onion rings are off the hook. Tell you what, D-Funk. I've never agreed with anything that's been said in a YouTube comment in my life more than that one. I do love a Pizza Hut onion ring. They just, something about them. I guess it's franchise to franchise as well, but the ones close by, they do a very good job, the onion ring department. And I went to KFC for a boneless chicken box. There are none available. Yeah, they're actually sold out in a lot of places, or at least they were last week. Bar chips, yes, says Reed Nichols. Good times, great taste, says Edward. Now change. It's Marcel Renata off and Sam Martinga on. Burger Fuel has good chips if you include the aioli. The Blues going to get another yellow for how many penalties? They're up to, I believe that's 11 penalties now against the Blues. So the only benefit that they've got is not many of them have been inside of their own 22, at least in this half. Are you in Christchurch? Bro, shout your lunch tomorrow. I am not in Christchurch till I think the 25th of March. I'm going up for that T20 between South Africa and New Zealand. But it's a bit of a drive from where I am to get to Christchurch, unfortunately. Burger King onion rings are king. I don't know. If you like a mushed up onion ring, I'd say they're probably not too bad. But if you like a full-on ring of the onion, I think Pizza Hut goes a long way. All I can say is KFC in New Zealand is lacking. I drive to Hamilton in COVID for Australian KFC chicken. And that's a shame, bro. Here they are wicked, says D-Funk. Rolling it back, Hotham. Way to the right, Whainanuku. Reves Rehana. Dallas McLeod. Can't get through the Clark tackle. Does anyone else get that little feeling like the Crusaders are going to score in about the 75th minute and all of a sudden it's back to within 7? Or is that just a me feeling at the moment? Now going off the left-hand side, Whainanuku goes to Cody Taylor. He drops the ball again. More rugby, less food commentary. All that's happening in this game at the moment is Crusaders keep dropping the ball and the Blues keep kicking it away. That has been all we've seen for the last 15 minutes. But finally, the Blues decide they want to run with Taeli. But yeah, it's been a very uneventful second half thus far. Now, Hoskins to Tutu pops it up to Berry. Trying to get on the ball was Christian Leo Willie. Zahn Sullivan. Another tackle. That is by... who's 18? I think that's Seb Calder, isn't it? For the Crusaders this game. Greasy balls, he's in the right, although the Blues haven't dropped it that much, which is the confusing part of it. Now Mason Tupaia, offload there to Sam Martinga. They're into the 22 now, the Blues. This is the furthest up they've been on the field in about, I'd say, 15 minutes at least. Now back across, Bowden Barrett tries to cut his way through. Tackle by Reves Rehana, offload up to Lamb. Another drop ball. Satutu with the no-look pass straight into the hands of the Crusaders. And a full-length try opportunity. Clark slaps it back though and stops the chance for the Crusaders there. That is a crucial moment because that could have been the try that we just talked about. Now Hamish, the Blues got this as invincibles. If the rugby was awesome, there would be less food commentary. That is correct. Another ball has gone astray in that breakdown. Reese rips it away, but he gets penalised for it. And this is where the Blues should take 3. It would give them the lead of more than 2 tries and would almost secure this game that little bit more. Satellite Sister is in here as well. we've got Satellite Sister and Awesome Astronaut was here earlier on. A lot of alliterations going on. Right, Beauden Barrett is going to take a shot at the post here. Trying to get that offload going for Hoskins. Tutu go for the corner. Bonus point try, says Ben. I think at this point, the Blues have realised that they haven't had a lot of chances in the second half. So now to get to that lead of more than 14 would be the best case scenario. Yes, the bonus point is still something they should chase, but I feel like now's the time after doing so much of the kicking it downfield and Crusaders having the ball so much. I think that this is a good choice. Mark will be happy, says Jasmine there, but Beauden Barrett lining this one up from 39 metres out. He's sitting 3 from 4 today. This is actually the straightest kick that he has had of the contest, and he's hooked it away. Beauden Barrett makes the score. Still 26-13. Says chips are the best, says Daryl. That his last 10 minutes though, says Kinner. Now a 22 dropout. Oh, what's like Tekapo nice? Or like it's quite nice. Depending on the time of the year that you go, of course, it can be quite good in summer. See a lot of people camping there. Now Hoskins a 2-2. Running it forward. He tried to do that miracle offload flick with the no-look pass like he did earlier on last season. So he should have gone for the try. Once again, it's hindsight, isn't it? Had they got the kick over and they win this game by 2 points after the Crusaders score twice, people would say it's a great choice to have taken on the 3. And Beauden would have backed himself, to be fair. He's sitting 3 from 4 today. But what if they had lost the line out? All Crusaders with Reves Reihana almost going through again. Hotham back across to Leicester. Whaiananuku. Skip past to Fiaki. Out on the wing, Taeli misses the tackle. 2 more men miss it, but Satutu handles the ankles. Again, Crusaders on attack once more. Missing Jordan. Big time, but hopefully he's enjoying that wedding that he's at. David Harvilli going across to the left-hand side. Cody Taylor thought about going inwards, but he saw Beauden Barrett in front of him and decided he wanted to have a crack at his All Blacks teammate. Now, Alt Segner off his hands, or off his feet, I should say, in that breakdown. Corey Callow, 5 metres out for the Crusaders. Thoughts on Crowley yesterday? I thought he almost costed the Irish the game. Oh, that misconversion. I only got to cover half that game. Unfortunately, another penalty goes the way of the Crusaders. This has to be a warning now. Ever thought of commentating motocross, supercross? I have very, very limited knowledge on both. So maybe not. But we've slightly broadened the horizons in terms of what we're open to commentating. So who knows? Maybe one day if I knew roughly what was happening. But I know very little about vehicles. That's a big run from Whaiananuku. But he's dropped the ball. Satutu's ripped it off him in the tackle. And again, a crucial moment there. The Blues are taking the scrum there. It seemed like it was almost a strip rather than... Oh, and a bit of push and shove now. Frustration's boiling over. Making me hungry. Maybe I'll do an Uber Eats, says Daryl. Clark, attack and defence, brilliant. And drop the ball. He says heptagonal ghost. We're going to see the replay here. Whaiananuku. Yeah, no, it wasn't actually a strip from Satutu. He just managed to regather it before it hit the turf. There's a wedding at 8 p.m. I'm going to need evidence. Where is Will really? Says the Sporting Kiwi. Like I said, I think whoever had the wedding, they were probably a Blues supporter. And it was a very strategic week planned out for said wedding. But the Crusaders have looked a little bit lost without Jordan in the mix. Points Blues, I know pass it to Clark. And go the Blues, says Edward. And there as well. Now Taufa Funaki. It's the ball in. Satutu off the back. Gives it to AJ Lamb. Not the best pass. Was slightly behind Lamb. So lost his momentum moving forward. Now, Fiaki almost dropping that ball. But has managed to still get that kick away. It's close to the sideline. Nice take there. Looking for the offload was Harvilli. He's dropped it again. Although it's play on. Says Nick Berry. I think they've called that one as a strip. Sam Matinga. Oh, he was on the ball but just lost the footing from underneath him. Now Cody Taylor. Seems like he's going to be playing a majority of this game. They've got Letiu off the bench. Now Whainanuku, big fend there, can't get through the defence of Segna. Papali'i straight in as the Jackler. McLeod was almost on it, but kick downfield now for the Blues, I believe, will be the option. They go with Yes Bowden Barrett down the middle again. This game is still up for grabs, and neither side are taking it by the scruff of the neck. Maybe the Blues, though, with one more big moment, can close out this game. Might have the date set a year ahead, says Jasmine. Strategic. No, it's probably just worked out that way. I know Jordan kind of shows New Zealand rugby fans what New Zealand rugby thinks of fans. Tweet for fan engagement. Says Studs Race. Now passed on the outside. Fiaki goes to Reese, who was very close to the sideline. And again on the ball. The Blues, they've been lethal in these breakdowns. AJ Lamb looking for a 50-22. And he gets it too for the Blues. That is the moment that they needed. One little game changer. And it's come in the form of AJ Lamb's boot. Hi mate, says Jacob, welcome in. Yeah, it annoyed me seeing Damien at the game last week. But not playing. If you can be at the stadium, you can play, says the Sporting Kiwi. Definitely when the result doesn't go the way of the side as well. And undecided, says Edward. It's a good kick there from AJ Lamb. The Blues have outclassed the Crusaders here. The only thing that's really hurt them is that discipline. But if they can shore that up a little bit, their defence has been solid, their turnover work's been solid. Could have a pretty handy year ahead of them. Great stuff, the Blues, says Heptagonal Ghost in there as well. Now 7 minutes left. Fatigue is really starting to kick in. There are a lot of these guys who are expected to go 80 minutes in this matchup. That was playing the man of the year from the Crusaders and Will Tucker, so that is going to be a penalty advantage in favour of the Blues. I think I've been away from New Zealand too long. I don't understand some comments, says Sakaya. Now we'll wait to the left. Satutu hesitates, gives it to Bowden Barrett. He thought about a kick, but instead will try and run it east, drop the ball. It's gone backwards, so they'll go back for the penalty again. It is a lot closer of a kick for Bowden Barrett here. But I don't know if he'll want to take it. Is Bowden Barrett still good? He's handy enough. He's had a couple of assists in this game, including a cross kick to Cody Vai. How long to go? Still another 6 minutes remaining. But this one is more central for the Blues. This is the easy three to secure the game. The bonus point, they don't seem like they're attempting to go for it yet, the Blues. No man go for the try, says Ben. Just under 7 minutes to go, says Sakaya. They're just saying there, Crusaders, once since 2014, they've been beaten by the Blues, I think was the stat that they just mentioned. It's a rat, says Pro Pleb, and should be done with my work. So I'm good to go for the Brumbies game if you want. Says Hayno. I mean, if you're happy to do it, and the lineup is there to be downloaded, if you're keen, you can well and truly go for it. I'll schedule it and everything straight after this game probably. Just to make it a little bit easier. And come on this. Oh no, hang on, because I had to end the last stream, didn't I? So I'd have to change the settings maybe. Lando Norris Monster is delicious, says a Sporting Kiwi. I don't want to harp on it about it, but 87 kicks in this game is what our rugby has become. Says Oswald, not really. We saw a free-flowing running game yesterday, and actually earlier on between the Highlanders and the Force, there was quite a bit. Just sometimes when you get two sides that normally play attack and rugby, they sometimes play away from their natural game, which is what we've got in this case. I got you a nice donation tomorrow, my G. Says Just Spoken. We are going to be here all throughout the day for the Sevens. We've got the Six Nations too, the T20 World Cup final taking place later on. So, yeah, we will be here for plenty of tomorrow's sporting action. Kick downfield from the Crusaders, who are currently down by the 16 points. I switched that one setting on my roll. Says, hey, no. And what a great weekend for New Zealand sports, says Heptagonal Ghost. Again, colliding. Funaki told to use. Are you doing the Reds game? Mahano sounds like he's going to be. Still 5 minutes to go. Going to crack 90. Kicks for sure. Says Studs raise. Oh, that's a big rush bit of defence. But now the Crusaders, again, looking to kick this one in behind. Now in the middle of the field. Chasing across is Zahn Sullivan. He's tackled by Sever Reese. Thought about the offload option, but Whainānuku straight on the ball and manages to get the steal. You'll notice a lot of kicking when Bona Barrett's playing, unfortunately. Says a sporting Kiwi there too. Now bounce pass. Shalfoon goes to Cody Taylor. He's had to put in a shift today. They did have Letu off the bench, but it doesn't seem like he's going to get more than 1 or 2 minutes at the end of this one. Louis Chapman, he's also made his way on. Or, yeah, I think that was Louis Chapman. It doesn't look like Kyle Preston. Unless maybe he's clean shaven now, actually. It might still be Kyle Preston. He's got to look the other way. Oh, no, it is Preston. He has got the beard. I just couldn't see it from the other angle. Now, an advantage for the Crusaders. I think Hamish, plenty of mind in your show. Says Edward. Now, tackle releases the call. Back to the left once more. There for Christian Leo Willie. Preston pick and go. That was high. I think it was in the collision. Referee says it's fine and they'll go back for the penalty. That many in the match. The amount of times they scream at the tally with the gameless kicking position away. We'll never understand why they do that. Says Akai, and great shift from Caleb Clark. Here bringing up the hat trick. Another hat trick in this round of Super Rugby Pacific. Now Preston. Cody Taylor tries to slap it on. They've lost a fair few metres and a drop ball cold. We have Gadea Hamish. Would you be interested in commentating a fight between Max, a 40-year-old accountant, and Jimmy, trading in a garage in Linwood next Saturday? Linwood's in Christchurch, right? As in at the actual fight, or like doing it through where I am here commentating it? But why are Max and Jimmy fighting? What's happened there? Is there some sort of beef? How will I know about the game, says Mohadeen. Which game are you talking, Mohadeen? Just talking about how much the Blues have wanted to win this game. It just seemed to be the side fighting that little bit harder. Preston has got AB's qualities, says Shane. Just talking about the fantasy rugby. Who will get man of the match? I'd say Clark will be up there, even with that yellow card. He's done very well. Yes, Linwood is in Christchurch, says Zakiah. And do you think it was a mistake not taking the 3, Hamish? Who are we talking for? The Crusaders ages ago or the Blues? Or because I would say at this stage, with the game separated by 16, I don't think 3 points was going to make a difference. They are settling a beef. We need you in the ring like the real Bruce Buffer. I didn't realise there was real life beef coming out of Linwood. Are they doing is it televised or is it just literally you just want me there commentating it while they fight? And Barrett is a good tactical kicker, says NZ Riot. And about the Reds game, we will get a schedule before this stream comes to a close, hopefully. Or no, it will be actually a little bit after, maybe. Now Tofa Funaki told to use it again. Told to get out of there. Right, ref has said that's time, which will bring the victory for the Blues. They've managed to win this game 29-13 at home at Eden Park. So very nicely done from this team. They haven't won many times up against the Crusaders as of late, but this was a great, well put together win. They did very nicely in the breakdowns, getting those steals. Now going for the bonus point win. What is happening with the Blues? A good first half, bad second, and Yahoo says heptagonal. Yeah, they'll be happy enough with how this game's gone, the Blues, because when you consider the fact that lately up against the Crusaders, they haven't even won. Yes, a bonus point would have been great, but just getting the victory, I would say, is potentially enough for now, just for them to feel a little bit better about the whole situation. And Blues fight for the bonus, says Shane, and Boost is bad to the bone. And there too, they are just saying a well-earned victory. Great goal, Gigi Papali'i and his Blues. Says Sokia, Papali'i played quite a hefty part in this matchup as well with what he was able to do. Did some great work in the breakdowns. Blues, let's go all the way, and you are right, says Sharon. I didn't enjoy that, but my team got second, so that game wasn't flash. It was a bit of a rough one, I'll admit. There was some more left to be desired out there. But at the same time, I feel like we saw what they needed to do to win here, the Blues, and they did just that. They controlled this game. They did kick it away a lot, but the Crusaders didn't seem to be able to be clinical enough to be able to fire back with anything of substance. As Hamish says, Anthony and Blues obviously wanted more. Crusaders were sluggish. Yeah, they just didn't really get it going, did they, the Crusaders? Throughout, I'd say, really any of this match, which sounds a bit harsh, but that was kind of the reality. They only scored, they've just mentioned, while the opposition were down a man. So that's something that the Crusaders, going back to the drawing board, of course, they will want to sort that out and be ready to go for their game next week. We'll quickly show who it is up against as well while we are at it. There we go. So the Crusaders, they have got their game next week up against the Highlanders. That is in Christchurch. The other game that is taking place next week involving one of these two sides is that matchup for the Blues up against Moana Pacifica. Now, that is a Sunday afternoon kickoff, so a bit of a random time. But we are going to be more than likely covering it on the channel too, alongside a lot of the sevens that has taken place. But we have now got another live stream for tonight before the Six Nations, ladies and gents. It is going to be the matchup taking place between the Brumbies and the Reds. As you saw, Haino is keen to be able to do that stream. So what we will do is we'll quickly schedule it before this stream's over, just so that you have that one redirected so that you're ready to go. No, that's a fair assessment. They weren't good enough from the get-go, and too many drop balls and knock-ons. And then Hamish says hip tagging all goes. Blues were very organised. The Crusaders had zero firepower. Yeah, they just didn't. Like, when you look through at the players, like, don't get me wrong, not having Will Jordan, did it hurt them? Yes. But did it hurt them to lose by this margin? I don't think so. I think that there were a lot more things that, like, Carvelli dropped the ball a lot in the midfield. That was a bit rough from him. Faina Nuku had a few handling errors. Reese was hardly in the game, or at least not in those big important moments where they would have loved to have him getting heavily involved. The Satyrs played like the Proteas against the Black Caps, says bad to the bone. And there too, and all we need is Highlanders to beat the Satyrs next week, and it's over for them. Yeah, although I still think you got to make sure the Crusaders aren't in that top six. Because if they are, they could do what they did last year and go on and win the whole thing. They can gel late. It's taken a little bit more this season than maybe some of the past, but again, it doesn't mean that that's not a potential option for this Crusaders side. But that next game between the Brumbies and the Reds, that is starting up in only around 35 or so minutes time. And we have now got a fill-in for that matchup. So I will be next on the streams for the Scotland versus France match. That is going to be happening at 3 a.m. New Zealand time. And that's an intriguing game. France, if they win with a bonus point, the Six Nations is actually over. So that is not ideal for the competition. Definitely with one more round that could be thoroughly entertaining. If Scotland were able to get themselves the victory here, it would mean that actually all three games have a lot of meaning in the overall outcome of the Six Nations comp. So that's kind of the fingers crossed scenario that we're hoping to see in that regard. But nonetheless, I will quickly schedule this like I mentioned, so we can get it all sorted. Crusaders didn't have Jordan and the Blues had Barrett. So that evened it out, says the Sporting Kiwi. And what is that score? Or what is the final score? 29-13 in favour of the Blues. So a good, solid win in that regard. And they don't get the bonus point, but they increase their points differential quite nicely in the matchup in this case. So, like, once again, they haven't had a lot of wins at Eden Park, the Blues. So to have one here, they'll be happy enough. You know, yes, there could have been a bonus point on the cards, but at the same time, you don't want to take that risk of going too aggressive for a bonus point and then end up conceding a try, allowing the Crusaders slightly back into the game, and then they could have found a bonus point of their own in that scenario. Tim will be happy. Says Big Rick, he will be. He's a big Blues fan, and he'll be thoroughly happy. He was going for Wales by the sounds of it on the earlier live stream, which people were calling him out for. But yeah, he was more than happy with what he saw in that contest. Nonetheless, I have got that next stream scheduled, ladies and gents. And I believe this stream will now take you over to said stream, which is that Brumbies versus Reds. We have got Haino filling in for that one. And then from there, I will be doing that Six Nations back-to-back that we do get to see. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll see you all for the next one.